Hello, in this video we are going to get the road in our scene, and before we do that though we need to fix one little problem on the cow. We forgot to tag the cow. So what you want to do is go to your tags menu, say add a tag, click on the little plus sign, and type in the word cow with a capital C and click save. Now you will have cow in your list of custom tags. You can come back to the cow now and you can set its tag to cow. And that'll allow the controller to find the cow. Alright, but now let's work on the road. Now the road is not that hard. Let's open up the sprite for the road. And its type is already set to 2D and user interface. That's fine, we can leave that. It's a single sprite. But what we want to do is kind of set a custom pivot point or a custom center for this sprite, and that's easy enough to do. So we want the center to be kind of along the top, but at the middle. That'll just kind of help us line things up. So let's select our road sprite, and then I'm going to open up the sprite editor, and you'll see here I've got different ways to set the center of this sprite, and I've actually got a little kind of gizmo here that I can move around to set the center. And I actually want the center to be kind of in the middle, halfway along the top. So down here at custom pivot, I'm going to put in 0.5 for the X, which is like halfway across, and I'm going to put in 1 for the Y, which means all the way at the top. And you can see now that it's been revealed that this sprite is not exactly centered. And then that's it. So then let's close the sprite editor window here and click apply. There we go. So now what I can do is start putting roads in my scene. Let me put in, I'll just drag a road in here, and notice now that the center of this object is now up here. It's along the top in the middle. We've kind of set a custom pivot point for that object. And now what I want to do is tag this thing. So let me go make a tag called road. And I've already done that. So I'm going to, if you want to click on the plus sign, make a tag called road and click save. Then come back to your road and select road from your list of tags. So now my road is tagged road. What else? Okay, so now let's make some more roads. And notice there, I just made that object I can just drag it into my scene. I don't actually have to keep, I don't actually have to create a 2D object and assign the sprite to it. For the order and layer, let's set this to be -1, which will put it below the car. Because again, we want to make sure that things get drawn in the right order. And this order and layer thing, it actually works backwards from GameMaker. In GameMaker, negative numbers are closer to the camera. In Unity, they're farther away from the camera. They're kind of like underground or behind the ground layer, or whatever you want to think about it, behind the camera plane. So if we set the order and layer to a negative number, it'll be below the player. And now what we can do is we can make more roads. So if I right click on this and say duplicate, it doesn't really seem like it here, but I've actually created another road. And I'm not going to line these up perfectly, and I'll show you why in a second. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use the grid snaps to line these things up. Right click, duplicate, close enough. Right click, duplicate. Duplicate, okay. And so something like that. Now how do I get these things all lined up here so that they're kind of snapped to the grid? Well, if I go to the edit menu and open up the snap settings, so edit menu, snap settings, I happen to know that these things are all 3 tall. And then the X snap doesn't really matter because there's only 1 column of them. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit Control Select all of the roads, and then I'm going to hit Snap All Axes and watch what happens. Boom, they all kind of, oh, well, why did they not snap to the axes? So it looks like just one of them is kind of off. I'm not really sure why. Now, if I notice now, if I hold down the Control key, it will snap that guy to the grid. And if I highlight him, it looks like he's road 1 there, and I hit Snap to all axes. They're see lined up. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but the trick is you want to hit all of these guys, set up your grid settings, and then say Snap all axes, and then it'll snap all the pieces to their nearest grid snaps. And the reason we centered that sprite was so that it is now kind of lined up in the middle of the camera plane, and we don't have to kind of worry if it's too far left or right, because we want the road centered in the screen, and the easiest way to do that is by centering their sprites. So that's it for the road right now, and then in the next video we are going to make the car explosion. We're going to chop up our car sprite into 4 little pieces and make little car pieces that can all fly apart. So that's what we'll do in the next video. I hope this one wasn't too bad. But the trick is if you are working with trying to place things exactly, your life is so much easier if you understand that there are snap settings built into Unity.